Okay, guys, we're not gonna have any PowerPoint today. So I guess you're welcome. I don't know. Those of us that have had PowerPoint for a few years, we've all had death by PowerPoint. So that's not going to be this. This is going to be a lot of live drive. I think I've met most of you at this point. My name's Chris Cole. I'm a customer success consultant here from Remax LLC. So I'm in the headquarters, actually housed out in Colorado. What we're going to be talking about today, we're going to talk a little bit of basics, but really not much. We're going to blow through that pretty quickly. We're working on campaigns, and I'm going to give you guys some more ideas on lead gen. So part of why I want to do that is it's easier to explain campaigns if you know what's upstream. And what I mean by that, those of you that I'm pretty old school. I like Covey. I like Napoleon Hill. The Think and Grow Rich. One of Covey's tenets is think of the end. So you're thinking of the end as you're building. And the reason these old school guys are still taught is their stuff works. So I find it helpful to be thinking of what does a campaign do? Where does it fit in the big picture when you're working at understanding it? Now, guys, so those of you that remember this screen, and this is where we start out with everything. All I wanted to bring up today is the Agent Quick Start. So over here under kvCORE training, all I wanted to bring up today that has concern with the dashboard is this Agent Quick Start. Now, particularly those of you that have been to a couple of my trainings, I keep referencing this as your Encyclopedia Britannica. And today's training is one of the ways I can leverage that. Kind of explains what I mean when I say it's a reference document. You see here, one of the portions of the Agent Quick Start is leveraging smart campaigns for your business. And those of you that have gone through some of the trainings that kvCORE offers, they cut really thin. They're very concise, right to the point, show you a lot of graphics. They throw a lot of video in there. You can
Leads
see
in your funnel.
just from this
If you
one,
really want to change a template, however, you can click into the templates.
they really cut to the chase. So I recommend, again, making sure you have this open. When you get to some new ideas, some new concepts, make sure you have this close at hand. And again, from the dashboard, we're talking up here in the top right hand side, we're talking the Agent Quick Start. All right. Now there is some of this as well under the live training calendar, but today I'm your live trainer. Now what we're going to be working with, we're going to be up under marketing. We're going to be looking at smart campaigns. All right. Those of you that remember our discussion on lead engine, this is actually where we're going to begin the journey. So here's why. Here's the concept. Campaigns, they're only good for communicating with people that are in your database. So those of you that were getting on when John and I were talking, you heard that I've been having a lot of veterans come to my classes. And partly why is they recognize in a market like this, they need to spend a lot more time on the back end of their database. So they're really concerned with, how do I market the folks who I've sold to previously, who I've had serious conversations with in the past, that are probably a little bit closer than just random names coming in from lead gen. And that's the front end of that. For today's discussion and to show you the point of these campaigns, I want to show you, if we're bringing in some lead gen, give you a couple ideas and how that ties into campaigns. All right. Guys, with a small class like this, feel free to ask questions. We're going to go up until, let's see, it's 10:30 your time. We'll go a little bit later than 11:30. I can go about 15 minutes late, so we can have some Q&A along the way and also do it at the end. All right. So first thing I want to look at, I want to throw another concept out at y'all. And that is down here in the business analytics. We're going to look at consumer interest. So this part of kvCORE hasn't held much data up until now because we've just been starting out. So when you're looking at analytics, there has to be some data coming in for analytics to make some sense. And what we're looking at here is this telling us, so this is from an admin account. I'm logged in as Megan here, and this is looking at the company. So you see we've got top refers, top capture pages. We've got top 10 viewed properties, top 10 saved properties. Down here is where I think it gets really interesting as far as lead gen and as far as doing some marketing. And it's also a concept I wanted to throw out at you guys. So what we see here, we see our top 10 areas that are being viewed. Ocean block, top 10 prices between 300 and 400,000. That's the most being viewed through the site. Top 10 zips. I took a look at this, the 21842. It does seem to correspond to Ocean City, which is also Ocean Block, I believe. You guys can stop me if I'm wrong on these. And then top 10 neighborhoods. I suspect, I didn't dig into this, but I suspect that Rifkin Village is probably somewhere in Ocean City in that same area. So this is what this is telling us, guys. And you're going to get similar information on your own websites. Probably not as complete as what Megan's seen, what we're seeing from the admin side, but this is giving you a very hyper local view as to what's going on with your business, what's going on with Advantage, what's happening in your area. The reason this might not give you the same results yet on your particular site is it's going to be very much local to you. It's going to be people that have hit your website, and at this point, you might not have enough traction in there to really get a good idea. But here's how we start to do this. You guys remember lead gen. What about an idea of building up Ocean City homes? We want to present under $400,000. I can even pull up from the zip. If you all remember from our trainings before, we're going to launch the full website. So I'm going to go over here to kvCORE platform. 3 down is that's your website. So this is where you guys would go to begin looking here. Gives me my warnings. Guys, one of the caveats here, I had to use an older computer today to get Ring Central to work correctly so I could share instead of having to have Megan drive. So there may be a little bit of slowness built into the system. So just bear with me. The computer's old like me and my dog. All right. We are going to look at areas we cover. So I'm going to go down here. I'm going to look for my Ocean City. There it is. And you guys should have these on your website. If you don't, let Megan know and we can get them on like that, or do the chat bubble within kvCORE and you can get those added right away. This, as you recall, this is our community page. It gives us our most popular, our most expensive, least expensive. These don't always correlate, but often they do. So apparently this almost $10 million property is getting a lot of views. So maybe there's a lot of folks out there playing the lottery and they're wishful thinking. So what we want to do, we want to look at total of homes and we want to change up this filter. So you see, I've got my grid selection. I can search by price. I want to go price low to high. I don't know if I believe there's $1 listings over there, guys. Point being, we can start separating out the searches over here. We can create some sub searches, and I already actually did a subset. So I've got a group of properties there between, I think I made 200,000 to 400,000, and I've got the link here. So I have a link I can create. So what we're going to do at this point, we're going to go in and we're going to say, copy this, kvCORE platform. I'm back over to the platform, guys. I'm going into lead engine. I'm going over to build landing page. Now remember, this time we're leveraging data we pulled out of your analytics. So we're leveraging what's actually happening in your marketplace. We're going to call this one, we always stick with lead generation up here. That's the one to use. Hashtag, I'm going to say Ocean City buyers. Submit button text. The list is fine. I'm okay with that. The URL, gonna just put in the one I just saved on there. And remember, this is a sub search in Ocean City for homes that fall in that most popular range. Background, let's keep it the same just for brevity. Lead type, of course, we're looking at buyers. And then down here, this is where I start to throw out my premise. So are you in the market for that 200? No, hold on. Let's see, what do we call this? We call that, I don't know, is 400,000, can you call that inexpensive? Let's call that, maybe that is inexpensive for that neighborhood, but
Chris, how about you want to bang for your buck in Ocean City?
I like it. Get that one on the line break. Perfect. I have a list of homes in Ocean City from 200K to 400K. All right, I'm going to kill the rest of these, but you guys in practice, you'd be adding some more data in here. You'd be giving a little bit more compelling interest into the community. If it's one that you happen to specialize in, heck yeah, you'd be talking about sold 35 homes here. I'm the #1 Remax broker in this area, et cetera, et cetera. That's where you can start to leverage the other info we have in here. But that's pretty much landing page 101. For the sake of what we're doing today, I just wanted to drive this into our campaigns, okay? We're not required, now I'm gonna require a phone for this. We're gonna say there's enough interest that people are gonna give us their phone numbers to create it. So right now, build it. Away we go, it's live. I wanna see, yes, I wanna see the list. Remember, gotta put in some info to do it. So I'm gonna put in another email, one that I haven't used before, so we get a new hashtag in the system. Fake phone number, see the list now. So you'll see it's going to open up that, my poor sad old computer, but it's going to open up that sub search of homes in Ocean City. So, you know, we've created a little bit of return for their effort. We're showing them what they're looking for, what we said we had. And this also is driving them to your website. So when they begin clicking on these, you're getting them, you're double dipping. So you've drawn them into your website. Hopefully you get them to start favoriting some properties, use your website as their default search, but we're also leveraging that hashtag. So this is a little bit of review, guys, but we're going to go back over here to marketing. What we're just in is we're moving out of analytics, and that, remember, that's down here in the bottom. We left consumer interest. You can also, in your own time right now, take a look at source performance and kvCORE activity, but just put that a little bit on the back burner, try to get an idea of what's down in here. All right, now we're going to go back up. We're going to go to marketing, all marketing, and we're looking at hashtags. All right, guys, so to reset the table, what we've just done, we've looked at our analytics. We figured out a compelling landing page to create. We threw this thing out on Facebook. We're starting to get people interested in it. We built that hashtag in there. So if I look down in my list of hashtags, we'll see this is one of them that's created in there. That's not in yet with the slower system. It'll pop in when the system's doing its thing. So it's working through the Ethernet right at this moment, but it'll populate in here and we'll see that contact once that propagates through the system. Okay. Doing a little updating, see if I can force it in. No, not yet. Okay, we'll look back at it in a bit. All right, so now if you recall from lead generation training, this is where we want to tie in campaigns and when we want to start thinking about the campaigns. So if you recall, we always want to have that end in sight when we're thinking of our lead campaigns. So if we're looking for generating some leads in Ocean City, if you guys are looking at perhaps some of the folks that are in your database that might be in that area. So knowing that it's popular, you might leverage this on the other side. You might be leveraging, sending out to some of your Ocean City folks, hey, you're in a hot neighborhood. Maybe you send them a CMA, you send them some idea to show them what prices are currently doing. In that realm, you're trying to talk them into selling. You're trying to convince folks in your database that now's the right time to sell. Now's the time. There's nothing on the market. Now's the time to list that home. But right now, we built a lead gen. We leveraged Ocean City. So we need to start thinking of what communication do we want to have on the back end? When that hashtag comes in, what campaign do we want to leverage? Now, I added a couple in yesterday, guys. So Megan and I were having a conversation, And I understand there were a couple in here that were really turning folks off. And I think this is probably one of them. I'll just take a look at it and we'll talk about this. So the ones that have nothing but agent communication. So this one is just giving you this is just telling you that a lead went to active. Let me go back again. We'll keep looking through some of these. Megan, I think this is the one that had nothing but agent activities. Yeah. So this is what we're talking about. This I agree with the idea. The idea here is saying that this is all just agent activities. You see here, this one is a task that goes out immediately to you, the agent. So it's telling you to go do something. Then it's sending you a message to give the consumer a call. Finally, there's two things that actually go to the contact, but then it's back to you guys, the agent. So you see a lot of that in there. So with that in mind, with the idea that we want to have some campaigns that are matched more towards a lot of communication to the consumer, I brought in a handful. So one of them that I want you guys to be looking at is called the Core Default Buyer. So what you see immediately is a lot more contact information. So the first two are contact. There's an agent piece in here, but then contact. So in regards to what we just created, that landing page, we want to tie this in. We want this thing to begin communicating with those consumers as soon as they come in. Hold right there for a moment, guys. I want to go back in and see if that hashtag came in for me. Okay. Megan, you might actually see it on your end. I'm going to press forward, but if you do see it come in, it might give you notification before it does me because I'm logged in as your account. So if you see that, just give me a hey ho, and we'll move forward. All right. So back to smart campaigns. The one we're looking at, the one I want you guys to look for, is the Core Default Buyer. We're going to dive a little bit deeper into these. So now we're actually going to turn this into the campaign built around communicating with those consumers we just built the landing page for. So we're not going to edit this campaign itself. We're going to clone this one and we're going to create our own campaign based off of this as a structure. So what you guys want to do when you begin doing this is you want to get a good look at what do we have down here. This is what you're concerned with. We're not concerned with what's up here because we're going to be changing this anyways. We're going to change what triggers it. We are concerned that it's for a buyer. Those are the commonalities. Those will stay. But we don't care what the status is, and we don't care how it came in. We're going to turn it into being related to a hashtag. So when you're vetting these, you're looking at, all right, do I like this? Do I like the tempo? If I have somebody respond to, they're interested in a property in Ocean City, do I want an immediate text? Yeah, I do. Do I want an hour 5 email? Yeah, I do. This works. Do I want to set myself up for a call the next day? Sure, I do. That doesn't bother me at all. Let's hit this while it's hot, because we're already looking at a hot market at searches that people are interested in. So we have a little bit of a cheat code going on in the back. Then we've got another text message going on at day 2, day 3, an email, day 3, a task. This is for you guys, on and on and on. So yeah, I pretty much like this. I can work with this template. So then what we're going to do is we're going to clone this campaign. So you see up here in the middle, I'm going to clone it, and I'm going to change the way this is set up. So to begin with, I'm just going to go over to set details. I'm going to change this name. So this one now is going to be, we're going to call it Ocean City Lead Gen Buyer. Not a copy. Next, I'm going to finish it. All right. Now, the reason I did that is I want to begin working just in that one. So you see, it immediately changes. When we do a clone, it brings up the new campaign that we're working with. So now I want to show you some of the things that we'll do within this and some of the triggers. Now, guys, as always, remember the chat bubble down here. This gets pretty deep pretty fast, and I want you all to be able to remember to leverage these guys. So you'll come away with this. Some of you will come away with this and be able to, yeah, I can create this. I can retrace the steps that Chris did. A lot of folks are going to remember the concepts and be able to get back and begin asking concepts. All right. So first off, we're going to look at editing this again. Campaign scope. I'm in Megan's account right now, so she's actually she would be building this out for a company. You guys, of course, this would be for you unless you're part of a team. So you could build it out for your team. But most of the time, the campaign scope and the for is going to be obvious. It's going to be set up for you guys. This one's pretty simple. We're concerned with the campaign starting when that hashtag comes in. It looks like my hashtag must be coming in. So Ocean City buyers, you can see that it pulled that up, so that hashtag must have populated the system while I was doing this. So it brought it in. So we want that hashtag Ocean City buyers to trigger this campaign. Now we can add some other advanced triggers. In other words, we can have more than one thing trigger this event. And you can look at some of these, and these are the fields within the contact card. Okay. And the contact card, if you remember, this is back in your CRM. This is the contact card that's associated with every single person that you have a name for. All right. Now, for the case of this, and to keep it simple, we're not going to add these, but we can do things like if there's, we only start these if there's an email associated, or we'll only do it if there's a phone not included, et cetera, source status, et cetera. We have a few options we can do on sub triggers, and we could add a handful of them. We could make this incredibly narrow. Now, guys, I want to pause here for a moment. Remember, I talked about a lot of the veterans that have been attending my classes. You can do this with all of your existing contacts as well. This is the same exact method. If you conceive of a way that okay, I want to start a very narrow drip campaign for folks that I sold homes to in, let's go back to Ocean City again, that I sold homes to in that Ocean City community. And the reason we might make it that narrow is you can add in the campaign some very pointed information about what's going on in their market. And that can be part of the campaign. Because remember, a campaign is just nothing but a set of communications that go out to a consumer. Think of all campaigns as a drip campaign. They're just all built on a drip here, a drip next week, drip the week after, drip after, until they interact. Once they interact with these, they change to active, and these campaigns stop. They've done their job. They hunted down the bird, and the game's afoot. All right. So for this case, we know we put in our hashtag. Hold on, did it not save that for me? Hashtag it did not. Ocean City buyers. I do not want to start trigger, always run yes. Locked just means, so this is again what Megan would be concerned with. Generally, if we're building them from the top down, we want to lock them. We want you guys to have to clone them and recreate it. So what we did up front, just so you're not messing with the actual templates. Remember, we want to throw out templates that you can build off of, but we don't want you changing those templates. That kind of shoots us in the foot. So I'm just going to next through this. This is who it's designed for. So this is the point. Again, guys, if you want to create this same thing, but you're mining sellers. You've got people in the back of your database that, okay, I just want to contact folks. I want to give them some ideas on how to sell. I want to say, yeah, interest rates are up, but there's no inventory. This is the time. This is the time to move. Interest in your community is great. It's never been higher. Great time to move. That's how you can leverage different aspects of this. For what we're doing, this one's just a buyer. So we're going to let that go. We're going to click over to next. This is just the name, guys. So this is the Ocean City lead gen. We're going to change the description. This is the description that shows up when I look at all of my campaigns. So we're going to say that this is campaign for Ocean City lead gen. Next, this one is just the review. So this gives me the highlight of what we built. So this one was scoped for company. It's built for the agents, which means that this will actually show up on your guys' accounts. We'll delete this afterwards, but just to keep things clean. Starts when the hashtag is Ocean City Buyer. So the hashtag we just brought in, designed for buyer, obviously up here in the name. That's the campaign name. Description, always run yes, locked no. Going to finish this. Now, guys, that always run is a little bit different than this one. If you see up here in the middle, we're still in this campaign. We're still in the Ocean City lead gen buyer, but this one is not active. All right. It is not going to do anything until we turn it active. When we turn it active, then away it goes. But first off, we want to do some time, spend some time down here on the body. All right, guys, before I do this, I'm going to go back to all campaigns. I want to give you a little bit of a run around the room, a run around what the campaign room's like. Let me pause here for a moment, guys. That was a lot. I know that's like drinking from a little fire hose for a minute, but any questions up to this point? Is everyone kind of following what we've done and the concept of what we're building?
Chris, from what I got, when you got to the point that you went out of, it looked like your own or Megan's kvCORE, and then you went in by, and I'm going back to my notes here, the analytics and so forth. You went into the Remax Advantage website and you captured those particular properties. Is it that you took that link at the top and copied that? Is that how you did that?
That's it exactly. That's it exactly.
Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
No, that's a good question. Let me give just an idea of the path again. I'll show you guys what we're doing from the top. So we went down to our business analytics. We went over to our consumer interest. We leveraged some of the data we found in here. The old computer, it's starting to smoke a little bit, guys, but all right, still. I looked at my most popular. I was concerned with, I kind of like this. I like the price range. I like the zip. So that's what I was leveraging when I went back. I'm in the platform again. I'm still in kvCORE's back end, but I can open my website easily by going open. And where I am, guys, I'm in the top right-hand side. I'm going up under Megan's name. Same thing for all you guys. You go up under your name, 3 down is going to be your live website. This just happens, since we're in an admin, this happens to bring up the main brokerage website. Now, so you guys know, this is a tool, everything we're doing right here, this would leverage the brokerage. So Megan could build this exact campaign and lead gen that we're doing today, start putting that out on the company's Facebook and start generating leads for you guys. So this can be done from the top end as well. This can be done from the brokerage. This is one of the tools she has at her disposal. Then I went down and I looked at areas we cover because I'm concerned with these community pages. And I'm concerned with the Ocean City. Now, what I did in the background to answer your question a little bit more, I think it was George asking that too, is I looked at what that zip code was. It corresponded to Ocean City, and that tied in the analytics a little bit more. So I pulled into Ocean City and I began doing some searches in here. So when I went down, I looked at, I went into the total homes listed. I started to play with the filters. I think for the link I had built, I did a 200,000 to 400,000. And I didn't care about anything else. I just wanted to save this. Sorry guys, limited. Apply filter, that's what I'm looking for. I applied filter, that's the return. Okay, so this is the homes in Ocean City, Maryland that are between $200,000 and $400,000. And then I can just grab this link. So I've created a live link from my website that has that narrow filter. Does that make sense? Did that answer your question? Okay, groove. So then I went back and I was thinking the whole time, why do I want this? I want this because now I know popular areas to leverage. Gives me a really nice idea of lead engine. And I love the explanation of lead generation to campaigns, because not only is it best practices for any lead gen you do, always tie in a campaign, but it gives, I think, a better understanding of what a campaign's for. You know, in this case, we're capturing, we already know that there's a substantial number of people that are looking at ocean block between 300 and 400,000, happens to be this zip code. And guys, does anyone know where Rifkin Village is? Is it Ocean City? I suspect it is. I didn't dig that far, but anyone that covers that market? Okay, it's okay if no one knows. I strongly suspect that, yeah, it is probably a community in that neighborhood, because these tend to follow one another. But so I created that campaign, tied these things in, got a compelling reason for them to click on it. And then we saw, I'm going back to where that campaign was. Bear with me a moment, guys. This is what happens when you start opening too many tabs. We built this campaign. So do you want to bang for your buck in Ocean City? I have a list of the homes in Ocean City from 200 to 400,000. That list is what we hid behind here.
And with that, where did we open that campaign from? Where was that at?
That was the one I built. The
Yeah.
lead gen.
Yes, yeah, okay.
Yep, that's the one I built.
But that's where you get there through Lead Engine?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, guys, I still don't have that. It might be a case of I'm sorry this piece isn't working, but this campaign should be showing here under all marketing, that hashtag. So this is a piece you're going to have to take it on my word that it does bring in that hashtag, and that's when all the automation starts on the back end for us. Okay, let me go up. Megan, you haven't seen any indication that it actually came in, have you? Did I lose Megan? She's probably muted.
No, I haven't.
Okay. All right, guys. So point being, what should have shown up, when I went through the campaign, and remember, I added my email address, I added a fake phone number. I said, see the list now. That captured that contact in my system. All right. So you're kind of up to date at this point. And that's when we went in and we started talking about the campaign itself. So we're going to go in, we're going back to Smart Campaigns, and we're going to look for the one I just built. So there it is, Ocean City Lead Gen Buyer. So at this point, I could turn this thing on and it would start to capture and communicate with anyone. And I'm going to go ahead and do it. So anyone that has that link up here and they're communicating with it, it's going to start to talk to them. So actually, sorry guys, a bit of a new tool. Okay, I'm dropping this in chat. So you guys can grab that out of chat. You can interact with it, put your contact info in, and then you'll see how the campaign begins to interact with you, okay? So put that as a, don't begin doing it yet. Follow along with me what our next steps are, but be aware that that's what's going to generate that automation from that campaign we're building. All right, is everybody caught up with me? Are we all good? Okay. I see an empty room down there at the bottom. We chased somebody out, but that's okay. That's one of the issues with leaving your camera on. All right, guys, so we're going to go back into Ocean City Lead Gen Buyer. And we're going to work on the information that's in here. So when we first looked at this and we were vetting this campaign, we were just really looking at, okay, do I like the communication tempo? Do I like the way that this is sending stuff out? And, you know, this is going to be a lot of trial and error for you guys. Here's what I'll tell you on the back end, what's happened. We've been trying to vet these as well as we can. kvCORE has years of experience when they build these, trying to find that best piece of what's a good tempo that keeps us top of mind, that makes sure that it's still in their realm of thinking, because we want to hit these people up pretty quickly after they sent that message. You know, we don't want to wait 3 days before we got to communicate with them, but we also don't want to overwhelm them with stuff. So when we're contemplating the tempo in here, we're thinking of what is enough but not too much. Now we're going to look in here and we're going to start editing the messages that are here specifically. So remember, this original campaign, it was built as kind of a generic buyer campaign. So begin editing. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. This is, I lost my way a moment. I wanted to give you a little bit of orientation as to what the campaigns look like and the way this setup is built. So take you back to this page. Here's where we're at. We're under marketing. We're under Smart Campaigns. All right. So again, you all recognize your dashboard. All we're doing is we're moving down here to marketing on your left. We're going down to Smart Campaigns and you'll see this page. So kvCORE has built a substantial library in here. If you look under their kvCORE library, and let's say there's just something you don't see that you like in here. It's just missing templates that you might want to work with what you see in the My Campaigns. And the My Campaigns, those are either downloaded when you launch the system, or Megan and I have been bringing these in. But basically, they're ones that have been selected for you. But there are substantial hundreds more under kvCORE library. So you could go into the library, you could do a search under here. I could do, perhaps I want something with sellers, default active seller. I can look at what they have in there, and I could bring this campaign in. Okay, so we're just looking at some of the navigation. Templates. The templates have to do with the messages that are built into the campaigns. Let me explain that a little bit better. If I go into the My Campaign, I go back into that Ocean City lead gen, and I begin editing these. Here's what you're going to see. See how it has a template name? So the template name is core default buyer initial. So if I were to go over there into the templates, I could find that specific template that was created there. In other words, I could edit. I could go in and I could throw in some crazy HTML. I could embed video. I can embed all kinds of stuff. I can also create new templates, but I'm going to show you an easier way. So I want you to know kind of the way the system's working, where it's grabbing its content from, but just know that templates exist. You don't need to spend much time in them. All right, we're going back over to My Campaigns. We're going to make this Ocean City lead gen one that will actually work. And if you guys start interacting with that link I put in the chat, this is the communication you're going to get back. So first thing we're going to do, we're going to edit the very first communication that goes out. Now you'll see if I start to make changes down here, notice what happens up here. It tells me, do you want to overwrite the current template? Do you want to create a new template name? So all we're doing is now we're creating a new page over there on the template side. We don't want to overwrite anything because, again, that would be overwriting templates. We always like to keep our templates clean. That means you guys have that to reference back on. You have those to copy. So now we're going to copy it. We're going to say, yeah, I do want a new one. And this is Ocean City lead gen buyer initial text. So all I've done is I've created a file over there on the template side. Hi, first name. Remember our lead gen? This doesn't make any sense. It's not capturing a name. So I definitely don't want to have some weird empty block going in. So I'm just going to make this a greeting. Here, we'll do the hi because we're crazy excited. I saw that you were browsing. Yep, I don't even like that. I'd probably change the verbiage here, guys. This is where you make it your own. So this is when we have that discussion, when we're first hearing about campaigns, someone in the room always says, so if 5 of us have the same person and we all send them a campaign, is it the same verbiage? And that answer is yes. If you're using things out of a can, it is. If you go in here and you change it up a little bit, then no, this is your language. So hi, I saw that you were interested in Ocean City listings. This is where I'd say a little bit. And remember, guys, this is a text. So we're going to keep this one brief. I love that area and have sold many homes there over the years. Let me know. Boom, done. What we see over here, this is the name that's going to appear when we're looking at the database, at the campaigns. So this is the verbiage that's going to be right there. So we're going to change it. I still like text 1, that's fine. But this is now lead gen, text one. It's coming from you, the agent, which just means it's going to be branded from you. It's going to come from your phone number. It's going to have all of your information, and it's going to the contact. So guys, even on the ones when I started opening campaigns and I wanted to speak to the issue with some of those campaigns having nothing but agent tasks, this is where you can begin changing those. If you saw one of those campaigns, but you kind of like the tempo of it, you could go in and you could highlight these and you can make that specific task anything you want. All right, so I like this. I'm happy with it. I'm going to save it. So now we have changed up the first text that's coming out. You see my name has changed, the title of what that is, and you see that the verbiage within it has changed. Okay, I'm going to close this one. We're going to now move down onto the first email. Now, the first email, this is where it gets interesting as well. So I could really narrow down. I could include another search in here. So let's say that I want to start sending some more information. I want to give them a little bit more data. I could perhaps pull 3 houses out of here. I could go back in, and where I'm going, guys, I'm going back into my community page. I'm going to go back in here and look at my total. I'm going to open up my filter, but this time I'm going to do a little bit narrower filter. So maybe I'm only going to do homes that are the very cheapest. So 200,000 to 250. I don't know if that'll even bring anything up here, but let's take a look and see if it does. And I could create this as the link to begin communicating more. Yeah, there you go. We do have some hits. So I could put that in my first follow-up. Now, remember, these are evergreen. You know, all I'm doing is creating a searching. This house might be sold and a new one comes in, but as long as there's homes in that community in that 200 to 250,000 range, that link is still going to work for me. So I could copy it from here. I could go back in and I could include it in this text box. All right. Now you remember right off the top, we didn't capture a name with this lead gen. Maybe like greetings. I mean, local real estate, blah, blah, blah. This works. So agent full name, remember, this is going to capture your information. So I would leave that part the same. I might change the local real estate agent. You know, I'm your Ocean City specialist. You think about making a move, the best place to start is get an idea of what's out there. I'm going to send some properties your way. Sure. And I could put that link in here somewhere. So you get an idea of what we've just done. We're taking some templates that are already built. We're looking at them, we're editing them, we're making them our own, and then we're adding some content to help that discussion. What I see over here, remember, this is just going to be the name of it. This is the name that appears here. So I would change this. This would be my Ocean City email one. LG lead gen one, email one. Going from the agent to the contact, I can always run immediately. I can have this just go immediately with the text, but I like it to be 5 times after. So you see the time unit, we can change up the time unit. This is where we can change it to minutes, to days. I could have this go 20 minutes after the text goes, etc. I can make that my own as well. And the value is just how many after the initial event. So we're just saying 5 hours after that contact comes in, that hashtag comes in. All right, I'm gonna save changes. Right now, guys, this one's nonsensical, and that's okay. I just want you aware of what we're doing. Let's see, I would embed that. That's pretty ghastly. So all I did is I put that as a hyperlink inside the word search, but this would be where you'd clean it up a little bit. Now, guys, before I move on, I don't want to make too many assumptions. I'm assuming you're all with me. You kind of got the concept, but stop me right here if I've lost you at some point during this editing process. Any questions, guys? Nope. Okay, good. Now, here's what we've done to this point. Oh, need to make a name for this thing. Because I changed this. This is the template that's in the back end over in that template library. And this is again, Ocean City lead gen, email 1. Saved it. All right. So what you've learned right now, you've learned for you made a concept. This time the concept was lead gen. For you guys, the concept might well be, yeah, I want to really start leveraging the people that are in the back end of my database. I want to begin sending them campaigns. I want to add some value in them. But I want to open the communications. The whole reason for lead gen to exist, it's for us to stay top of mind. Ultimately that's it. It's to hopefully offer up something compelling to have people interact with us. But really what we're doing is we're just reminding them that, hey, I'm still your agent. I'm still here to work with you. So in this example, what we had figured out is that we want to do new lead gen. But you see, you could just as easily say, yeah, I've got people in a neighborhood. I think there was one of the folks in your office had done a really, really great job of collecting names from their neighborhood specifically. So you could use a drip campaign specific to them, try to flesh out sellers. And each of these could be geared towards that. That first text message could be, hey, it's me, Chris. Haven't spoken in a while. There's some really interesting things going on in the market. Contact me if you want more information. Then the next one, the email could be, guys, I pulled this up for our neighborhood. And you might have done a search within your specific neighborhood, really narrowed it down. This is of interest. Hey, I don't know if you guys saw this, but prices are really going crazy. And perhaps that day 3 email could be that you built out a CMA for your home specifically, or a market report. You get the idea. We're able to throw in whatever our brains will help us figure out, whatever type of creativity we can to create these reports or these campaigns. And you saw how we build the triggers for them, how we launch them, etc. Okay. All right, guys, any questions here? Let me back out to the all marketing again. I really want to see that hashtag come in.
So Chris,
Yes.
you said you touched on something that I have interest in. You said I can create a marketing report. In other words, showing what a particular market in a subdivision is, and do basically what you just did there with what was in Ocean City, and send that out to. Do I send it out to all my contacts, or can I select particular contacts that live in that subdivision?
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's talk hashtags again. So I'm going up to CRM. So the answer to that question is, yeah, you'd want to narrow it down, but you have to identify them. So what I'm doing now is I'm going into Smart CRM, I'm going into all contacts and identifying them. You're going to know your database pretty well. I mean, these are your names. These are people you've been working with. And what I might be able to see from the very top level is go, okay, yeah, this person's in that neighborhood, this person's in that neighborhood, this person's in that neighborhood, this person's in that neighborhood. And all I'm at, just to reset the table, I'm up here at Smart CRM, all contacts. I'm looking at my entire database. I just selected a handful here, and I'm going to go to more actions, and I'm going to apply a hashtag. I'm going to add a hashtag. I'm not going to actually do this to Megan's database, but this is the point where I could add that hashtag for the community they're in. Something that you're going to recognize, okay, that you'll be able to communicate with that group. So then remember how we launched that campaign with a hashtag? We're doing the same thing. So
that's what I did with them. So I have certain subdivisions, and I've hashtagged them with the name of the subdivision.
Okay, no, you've got it. Now, here, let me give you a little more, let me push you back to where some of the content is. So let's go over to the lead engine, squeeze page, and I want to show you this, the market report. So this is the point where I can pull this up. Let's go Ocean City again. So it's churning away. It found area, neighborhood. Why does it have New Jersey? I'm quite certain that your Ocean City is way nicer than theirs, guys. Let's go this looks like a smaller little neighborhood. Ocean City Heights, Maryland, fine. And I just want to create this. I don't care about the source hashtag. No, I don't care about the hashtag for this either, because I just want a link that gives me a market report. So generate that link. We'll open this up. You can take a look at it. But this is what I would embed as one of the pieces of that campaign. So in other words, if you're building a campaign for a certain neighborhood, you want to be giving them content, this is one of the pieces of content you could roll out to them. We may have hit the end of what this computer will do for me. Not a lot going on in that neighborhood, guys. That was a bad example, but of course you'd vet these before you do them. So one of the ways of getting info out there. Now, another one that I think you might want to leverage is well, you saw the search engine from your site, so you could really dial this down. You could go into that community. You could begin with the filters, really start drawing down into the very, very specific community you're after. And guys, caveat to this right now, in this market, these are kind of tough because there's no inventory. So the tools that we want to show that 2 years ago might have pulled great reports, now we get a lot of zeros because there's just not much on the market. So if we're trying to leverage a report that's based off of current market trends, well, if the current market trends are nothing happening, it's not going to be much of a report. So try to look at your toolkit, decide, okay, what all tools do I have available to deliver the information I want, and go from there. But you see how this one works, how I can begin drilling down into specific communities. And also this one was tied to your website and your community pages. Okay, I mentioned the CMA. And let's take a look over there. We're actually right up against our time, guys. You know what? Before I drop in there, any questions to this point? Is this making sense?
Yeah, when you went back to lead engine, where do you go to get to squeeze pages? I don't see it on mine for some reason.
Yeah, so it should be, well, you should have the same exact screen I have. Are you not seeing this? So if you click lead engine, it should be the second one down. But if I click on all lead engine tools,
yeah,
you should see it here as the IDX squeeze page. Are you not seeing that?
I don't have it. No.
Okay.
No. I have all I have is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of those. I have 7 boxes to your 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. I'm missing something else too, so I'm not sure what that is. Virtual open house. Nope.
No, here, do this right away. Open up this box and drop that in there. That you got a bug in the build for your system.
Okay.
Yeah. And Megan can also help you with this. So to begin with, throw in the send us a message. And guys, I mean, it seems for you. I hate that this came up for you, but I want you all to recognize what you're seeing with this test account. These are the same things you should have. So if you're seeing differences, it is a bug. They happen. So you'd go in, you'd send a message, you'd throw in we'd ask a question. You'd throw in there that, hey, my account is missing the IDX squeeze page. And if you'd like, you can take a screenshot. Are you comfortable taking screenshots?
100%.
Okay. I would take a screenshot of this page and then a screenshot of yours, and you can just drop those in right here and say, I'm missing that. Can you get this fixed for me right away? And what they'll do you'll wait for a person, you'll click wait for the team, and they dial it up to their tier 2 support. So that fix actually needs people that are in the coding. And you can do the same thing by sending this to Megan or myself. We can help you support this, but this is the way you fish for yourself,
Okay.
No, good. I'm glad you caught that. What I see a lot of times is folks don't have their community pages because they went in and they changed them up a little bit. And I'll show you really quickly where these are. I think Megan has them all cleared up, but they're under our web and IDX. They're under our not this one. Sorry guys, I hate that I have to dig around in here sometimes. It's like content, service areas and SEO. So that's what we're looking for there, is service areas and SEO. So I can add those pages in here, I can add them all or I can remove all from list. I think typically add them all because there are some really interesting ways you can leverage them. And all it does if you say add them all is it's just going to load up this areas we cover. So in other words, if I click the show more, this basically shows everything. Megan, is that accurate? Is this everything in your, I think yours had them all selected anyways.
Yeah,
Mine's
and
empty.
I just wanted
Yeah.
to really quickly say, Mitch, that was why you didn't have the areas we cover in your section. So they do have to be added in on your website where Chris just showed us how to get there.
Okay.
So that's
Okay.
why those aren't coming up. And he did
Right.
use those when he was creating the lead generation tool page.
Okay.
Yeah,
Landing
Nick,
page.
you can probably follow along and add those right now if you want. If you saw,
Yeah, let me go ahead.
where I was.
Let me go ahead and do that. Go back. I'll go back to it again.
Yeah, so web and IDX, you want site content. I have to dig around in here once in a while, guys.
I don't have that. I don't have Web and IDX either.
Holy cow. Mitch, I'm glad you're on this training, man. Yeah, seriously, throw that in as well.
I mean, I could, yeah, okay.
Yeah, so your site was being built at 2:59 a.m. right before they did server maintenance or something. You know, legit, that's probably what happened. Is something happened to the servers right as yours was being built, and okay, yep, throw that in as well.
Okay.
Oh, sorry, man. All right, guys, let's pause this for a minute. Hopefully everyone got where we're going. Megan, did you have any comments or anything that you see that I missed completely, that concepts perhaps, or some other? No, are we okay?
No, I think you are doing great. But again, I think
gosh, it
Chris
finally
is
came
just,
in. I'm sorry, it finally came in, guys.
Look at that.
there it goes.
That took a minute. All right, it will move eventually. All right, I'm sorry, Megan. I just interrupted your.
You're good. You're good. Does anyone have any other questions or things that they're noticing in their accounts that's different? No.
No, okay, right, quiet group. You guys, I'm happy to follow up with these. If you start to build them out, first thing is if you start to build them out and have questions, go here. But next thing is reach out to Megan and myself. We're happy to start dialing these in, because you see the point again that there's really not a silver bullet. A lot of this is going to be hyper local. A lot of this is going to be your voice, the group that you're interested in marketing, the lead gen you're interested in doing. Ocean City might be just so far away from you that it's ridiculous, but through that data, those analytics, you'll see that, oh, okay, that happens to be a market I'm aware of, I've worked in, and you can start leveraging that, or turn it the other way around and start contemplating, how can these campaigns help me generate leads or generate sellers out of my current database? And that's where your creativity needs to come in. And you've got all the tools here. You've got all the templates. Well, except for you, Mitch. Mitch has got nothing.
I'm gonna figure something out.
Everyone else has the tools. Mitch, you got about half the stuff you need, but we'll get you set up right.
Okay.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Could you please show us very quick how to send a smart campaign to all your contacts at once? And is there such thing as a smart campaign as like a newsletter, for example? Can I set up all my contacts with a newsletter?
You can.
Told you it was coming, Chris.
Yeah, you can begin to build those out. There are ways. So what I would do is you can get in and you can do some. So what you're describing, there are actually some different concepts. So a campaign that goes to everybody at once, those are a little bit weird, because remember, we were building this based off of sellers, buyers, kind of those interests. Now, let me give you an example of one that is built for generally everybody. And we'll look at the 33 touch campaign. So this one is, you see the hashtag is just that 33 touch. So that'll launch this hashtag. And if you go down and you begin looking at what's in the body of these, you begin the editing, then it makes sense. So the real answer to your question is, what sort of communication do you want to send to everybody? And you answered part of that by saying the newsletter. That's the kind of content you would like to go you would like to go as a scheduled event. So on that, you can build scheduled campaigns. So you could have your own newsletter. So perhaps you're leveraging the blog that's in the system. Now we're getting down a real rabbit hole. So I'm throwing some concepts at you that you'll be able to leverage. So there's not a newsletter template per se built into the system right now, but there is the ability to use the system and create something like newsletters. So what you'd be looking for then is you'd be looking for a time sensitive, and let's throw this in here.
How about if I bring something in from the outside, like a market update that I
Sure.
want to,
Yeah, sure. If you have links, then you could easily go into one of these campaigns. So you could go into a simple campaign.
uh-huh.
So let's take a look at, so here's my touches, 12 touches, core sphere, homeowner. Let's take a look at what this is, just as a template. Yeah, there we go. This one's beautiful. So you can see this is emails from you to the contact. This one starts 8:10, 9:10, 10:10, etc. You could add that content in to each of these blocks. You know, you can edit these, of course. You can take this out. But remember, when we're looking at these templates, we want the wheel somewhat created for us. So you could begin adding content to these and building out, like a newsletter. Seriously, a newsletter, it's information that's sent out on a certain period. So why couldn't this be this newsletter? So the answer for you is yes, it's out there. It's going to take a little bit of work, but you can just tell that was 30 seconds of, hey, what does this one do? To give you an idea of, yeah, this is pretty good. So then of course you would clone this. Remember, you can work through this to build out the specificity of how it's being sent. The set details over here. This is what
the
renamed it.
system doesn't have a market update to be sent out once a month to all your clients. I would have to do it myself once a month. I can do it, but I would have to technically do it every single month, right?
Yeah. Yep. So you'd have to go in and add that content that you're building out once a month.
Okay.
And so guys, that was a ridiculously popular feature. In fact, it was probably the most popular feature in Booge, honestly, the pre-built newsletters. And I hear they're working on it, but that's all I've heard. I have not heard that associated with an end date or a completion date, but I hopefully it's coming. So yeah, you'd have to create that content yourself. I haven't worked much with blogs, but if you take a look at the blogs and Chat GPT, these are getting pretty easy to build. So you could easily say, let's say it's Ocean City. I don't have an instance of Chat GPT on this, guys, but I could easily say, so let's go over to Google because it's very similar. So let's say this is the Chat GPT interface. Sorry, guys. That's what I want. And I say Ocean City. I say that real estate market current conditions. And remember, in Chat GPT, you put in those keywords, it's going to create it for you. It'll build your newsletter if you throw in those content. So if you haven't done it yet, go to Chat GPT right now, open it up, play with it, throw in a handful of these and look at what it gives you as a return. It will build your newsletter for you. So you give it a few more keywords, tell it who the audience will be. You go in and you can change it up as it goes, but it'll actually pull the data for you as well. So it's not as difficult as it seems. That stuff is out there. And then you just grab that shared link or the content and you throw that in. So you grab the content they create, literally 45 seconds to create this. You grab that content and you edit it into next month's newsletter. All right, so some ideas. And guys, I'm going to have to go. Any final questions here? Did that help? Did that give you some concepts on how to do it? I'm sorry,
Yes,
I don't have a.
I'm just gonna have to play with that, but yes, thank you very much.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Yeah, I wish we had an answer that was, yeah, you click here, you click enter, and you're done. It takes.
I was hoping for that, but that's okay.
I know. All right, guys, any other questions?
And this is all recorded?
This is recorded. Yeah, Megan has it.
Yep. So this will go up on our YouTube channel. I always say, give me like 48 hours just because downloading such large videos, editing it, and then getting it up on the YouTube channel takes hours upon hours. Just the loading and process, because it's such a large file, but it will be up in the next couple days. So you guys can go back and rewatch exactly how Chris did all of this.
And final word, Mitch, with the problems you ran into, please CC Megan on that. So I would just send her a roll-up email. We'll jump right on this. So I'll escalate it on my side. Let me know what kind of replies you get today. So if you can do that, wait of course till the Californians get in and start communicating, but let us know what that response is and we'll jump on it. Cause I haven't seen anything like that yet.
Yeah, no worries. I sent them a message. They got back to me just now, and they said that they would get their engineering team to take a look and figure it out.
Beautiful. Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you all. It's always a pleasure to speak with you guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys.